What is up, everyone? I'm Scratch. Welcome to another Etheria restart video. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. I have been extremely busy for the last few days, guys, so I did not have a chance to post. But in today's video, I actually want to show you one of the most broken PvP strategies. And I'm going to basically talk about how to counter it as well, because that's very, very important. Now, I meant to release this video probably like more than 2 weeks ago, but I just did not have a chance to do it. I am talking about Revelation, and I am talking about support characters. Now, this is going to be very important because while you are doing the regular arena, like Ether Arena, it's pretty straightforward. You're going to be able to basically jump in there, fight the AI and stuff, and it's not as difficult. But when we are talking about Summit Arena, Fearless Arena in particular, because in Summit Arena, they can just lock your characters, and it's GG's. You can catch your enemy off guard pretty much all the freaking time, okay? So let me just quickly show you what I'm talking about. It's not like it's something new that just came out yesterday or anything like that, but it's one of the most busted strategies in the entire game. So, when we're talking about characters that multi-hit specifically, and they do not need to be damage dealers, because the whole idea is to catch your enemy off guard. You want to bait him to maybe ban your damage dealer while you are surprising him with a different character that will absolutely wipe the floor with his team. So, talking about characters like Freya, for example. So, her skill right here, slip now in, and drift into the depths where all that you desire beckons. Freya first applies a 2-turn increased attack to all allies, then deal 4 hits. 4 hits is the part that is important. 55% damage. Now, unfortunately, mine is not skilled, so of course I will be missing a lot of damage from there, but that's absolutely fine. I'm going to show you how it works without that as well. If we're talking about units like, I know you like this one because it's kind of like a fan's favorite, Kazuya the Reverie. She has a triple hitter on this skill. Now, mine is only at 5-star at the moment, which is not the end of the world. We're still going to be able to try her out, so her base attack won't be as high and all that stuff. But at least she is skilled, right? And a triple hitter is actually really nasty. The whole idea is to use the Revelation Shell on these characters. And there are tons of different units. You just need to basically look at the ones that multi-hit. This shell will basically enable you to deal enemy max HP damage or a percentage of your own attack. So up to 180% of self-attack, which is actually really, really crazy. Now, this triggers for every single hit, not only in PvP, but in PvE as well. So when you're using characters like Messiah, characters like Rosa, characters that tend to do a couple of hits or more hits, this is absolutely insane in PvE as well, not just PvP. Now, the devs actually came out and talked about it probably a few weeks ago. They said that is the way they intended this to work. And it's nothing busted about it in terms of like broken mechanic where, oh my god, is going to destroy the game, because it does have counters, but it's a very fun build to use. And as I've mentioned, especially Fearless Arena, where you can actually just constantly catch your opponents off guard because they're not expecting it. And it's so easy to bait people into just instantly banning one of your damage dealers, because that's what everybody looks at. Oh, he only has one damage dealer. I'm quickly going to ban him. Now, of course, people can see that you are using the shell on your characters, but most of them won't actually stay to think about it too much. It's such a shame that it's not a weekend now to actually go in Fearless Arena to show you, but that's fine. We're going to do some regular arena. Now, you will require one of these shells to have the Swift trade on, so the 3 matrix effects, basically to be able to get some speed on your character. You don't want your unit to be too slow, and that is actually saving up quite a bit in terms of using other fast characters, right? Because if you can nuke them instantly, GG's. Now, do not expect to do it versus every single team, of course, but it does work really good. So my total stats on her at the moment, guys, as you guys can probably notice, we have 19k HP, 3.1k attack, 273 speed, full crit rate, and a bit of crit damage. I did not prioritize to get crit damage. Now, if I would have scrolls in her, in the third and the first skill to get that extra attack, this would be even crazier. So let's actually quickly go and do a couple of runs. Then we're going to talk about counters, because that is very, very important. You need to know how to counter this. So let's dive in here. Let's see what do we have right here. We're going to do a couple of different teams, so that's fine. Immunity won't really save them from this one, because the main thing that everybody's kind of like relying on is, I'm going to bring in immunity, GG's, right? I'm gonna wreck the enemy like that. So we're going to go on Freya, the Revelation proc, and check this out. And I put it on 1x speed. Of course, the animation might cut out the damage a bit, but look at that. You see? We almost dropped, around 70% of their HP except on one target, which is just so freaking nasty. If you have two characters built like this, so let's just say I would have Freya and Kazuyo built in the exact same way, and Kazuyo would go straight after Marvel, would be a GG's. Like, they would be instantly dead without even needing to use a damage dealer, right? Like, they would get the job done. Unfortunately, I only have one shell like this, so I cannot build two units at the same time. I'm still freaking grinding that dungeon boss like a madman. That's all that I've been farming since the 2x, and I'm still not getting anything juicy out of it that I can actually really use. If we're gonna go versus this team, let's see if they are actually faster, and then I'm gonna move this gear to Kazuyo, and then we're gonna do 1 or 2 runs, and then we'll talk about counters, right? So we are faster. Let's give this to Freya, and let's see. Boost the attack. Only if I would book those skill those skills rather than book, but one day I'll be doing that. Not anytime soon, because I have much higher priorities. Will I begin? I think I'm gonna get smacked then. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get smacked by that by that Messiah. Well, that's fine. It doesn't matter. I'm supposed to basically bring in something to crowd control them rather than just bring in my my Marvel. Let's do another one quick. Yeah, they should work as well. Or did I attack the exact same team before? No, they had it had a Yali in there, right? I think so. So once again, boost on Freya. Come on, Freya, take them down. I actually got my ass whooped a couple of times before, where I literally got one shot. But that, of course, will most likely have a fully skilled Freya. I do not expect to do that without her being fully skilled. But look at their HP. Like, they're almost dead. Literally almost dead. And it doesn't matter what else they have in there in terms of passives or anything like that, because it's going to be a GG's. I could actually try to see if I can quickly do another thing. So I can either give her that build, either just bring in a different revelation that I have up and running. Okay, so none of them are max, none of them have the speed, so no, I cannot. But instead, I'm just quickly going to swap the build. So I'm going to give her this build. You see, her attack is lower, unfortunately. Now, if I would get her to 6-star, she would have most likely higher base attack than Freya at maximum level, considering that she's fully skilled too. That's already really beneficial. Speed-wise, more or less is the same. But she has 3 hits. Now, I do not have the increased attack on her like this. So what I'm trying to basically make sure that I'm doing is to ensure that I'm going to bring in an increased attack. So I'm not going to play it in the exact same way. Now I'm actually going to try something a bit different. If you can squeeze a bit of accuracy on her to make sure that she sleeps some of the enemies in case if we don't one-shot them, even better. So I'm going to take Freya out. I'm actually going to keep him in, maybe. Or, because I want to have a bit of control, right? So I'm going to go. Where is Kazuya? Where are you hiding? So I'm going to bring her in. And then I need another unit that can somehow support me a little bit. I don't need them to be necessarily faster. You know, I could bring a D-Ring to do the cleanup. Okay, I could bring in a D-Ring to do the cleanup. So let's give it a go versus this team. Am I faster? Yes, I am. My god, that is a fast freaking Yelly. Look at that, boys and girls. Like, my Kazuyo is already at like 280 speed, and look at that freaking Yelly. Nasty, nasty people with their strats, bro. So, let's get the buffs up. We should be getting that increased attack right now. And let's see what damage are we going to deal versus this. And maybe we're going to put them to sleep as well. Oh, baby! Sleep. Sleep and almost freaking dead. Sleep and almost freaking dead. Is even nastier than on Freya, to be honest, because you have that freaking sleep, which is just so impactful. And she is actually the next character on my take to 6-star. So once I'm done with that, I'm most likely going to keep a build like this for PvP. It's just much better. Now I will try to squeeze a bit of more accuracy on her somehow, maybe from some substats, but dead, and you control them as well. Nobody really builds their characters with high resistance. Maybe some of the very top arena players do, but the majority of them do not. Now this is a team that most likely will counter it, okay? So basically, having characters that might have higher defense. Tiamat is a very good counter to it because you build her with crazy high HP and it's much easier to kill. But it's all about the gear sets as well. And to be more specific, the best counter to Revelation is actually Bloodbath. If I'm not mixing up the names, but I'm going to show you that in a second. It's basically having the ability to reduce the incoming damage. So we cut in front of her. She does have immunity, which will cleanse the rest. So that could be a problem if we're not killing any of them. And most likely we won't. You see, look how much of a difference it is when we're attacking characters like this with a Revelation build versus when we're attacking different characters that are not as tanky. They tend to be squishier. Okay. Now, I did not have the right shell on him. A White Fang would have been better because that Tiamat would have been dead after, but we're going to have to make it work with what we have. So let's try to increase the cooldowns of their skills. Is that Tiamat going to wreck us? Okay, now we have decreased attack. That will cost us, of course, even less damage. So decreased attack is another good way to counter Revelation, because if you're dropping their attack, that means that they won't be able to basically go in and do crazy damage, because they're not going to have that max HP as high, because it's based off their own attack and max HP, if that makes sense. So let's see, who can we kill in here? Can we kill you, bro? Probably I'm not going to kill this team with what I have right here. I'm honestly not expecting to. It's just perfect that I found it, because it kind of like brought me straight into talking about counters. And this is actually a very good example, because even if I'm getting my ass whooped, which I am, it's fine, because it shows you how to counter a Revelation build. And this is not only for support units with Revelation, it's just in general for anyone that uses this. And it is the most powerful shell for PvP at the moment, right? On Messiah, all of the damage dealers, Yali, etc. Some of them will use the White Fang, of course, because they might be getting crazier speed on it, because you can get speed and swift on it, plus a damage set, which will allow you to get much crazier speed on your damage dealers. But overall, that's really nasty. So if we're quickly going to talk about gear sets, right? So let me just see if I have any of them around here. So Bloodbath, not that one. Where are you, Bloodbath? There we go. I'm just blind. Was up there as well, but I've missed it. So basically, when the total damage taken in a turn exceeds 20% of the max HP, the excess damage is additionally reduced by 55%, guys. So this right here is the best counter to Revelation. So you can build some of your characters, Tiamat, Rahu, Hellkid, tons of different characters, maybe not necessarily Hellkid, because it might be harder to get the attack on him. But some of the characters that can actually tank up, build them with Blood Path, they will absolutely dump on Revelation. That is literally the best counter. So I 6-starred my Tiamat, I think like a week ago. I still need to basically get her up and running, but I've been so freaking busy for the last 4 days, 5 days, I can't even remember, 4 or 5 days, that I just barely logged in to do the dailies, and I did not actually grind at anything too crazy in particular. Just use the stamina quick in the shell dungeon, and that's about it. That was all for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. How many of you guys are already using this type of strats in PvP? And do you think they're annoying? Do you think they're good for the game to have more variety and stuff? Much love, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.